Hello, my name is Dominic Underhallhouse, and it is finally here. Welcome to another episode of Moonbreaker. We have got the Command and Control update. So this is the first major update since Moonbreaker's inception. It is going to be so exciting. We're going to see all the changes that are coming up. I've not read any of these announcements yet. This is going to be my first time reading through it, and I wanted to share it all with you guys, and hopefully we can talk through what this is going to mean for the game, for the community, for all the developments in the future, and genuinely I'm curious to see what's made it in. The update is now live on Steam. It's currently downloading for me as we speak, so I've got no idea what it's like functionally in the game as well, but I can't wait to get stuck in. And let's have a look through it. So, Command and Control. This is what they're calling the headliners now instead of seasons. So we've got Command and Control, and in this image here you can see the new crew. So this one up here is Turncoat, who probably is my favourite of the new ones. Turncoat is amazing. We'll have a look at this all later on. There's going to be videos that I've done previously with covering all the new crew, and hopefully we can have a look at how they're implemented as well. This one down here, the chef, we've got Flurry. The most important thing I want to see about Flurry is if the base size has changed from small to big. I'd be really happy if it has. Here we've got Noxy, who flings toxoids at people when he gets injured. Seems pretty great. Hit and Run, who just seems really, really solid, like a melee Maximus, but not quite as absurd as Maximus was to begin with, so that's pretty good as well. And here we've got Crash, who, if I remember right, is probably one of the most damaging characters in the entire game, but really expensive to play. So, really looking forward to all of this. Love the artwork. I even really like this little logo here as well. It looks great. And this right here is something I spotted earlier. What is this? This is like, I know there's one here as well, but this looks like a moon crossed with a ship. It looks incredible. There's like a giant hole in here with an entire galaxy inside of another moon, potentially. Really curious as to what all this is going to be. Anyway, Moonbreaker Early Access Update for Command and Control. This artwork's gorgeous. I'm going to be using this for backgrounds and splash screens and things. Jump back into Moonbreaker and discover all of the Reaches-shaking changes that have been made since our last update. Discover additional ways to win, play with all new units, take control with map scenarios and control points, and customize your units with a little extra glitz and sparkle in our fourth major early access update, Command and Control. We know what this is going to be. So it does say fourth major update. There have been a lot of other fairly major updates, but this is the first one with new crew. So, command your crew. Cinder is no longer the only resource to manage when planning your strategy and rosters. Leadership is a new resource that's generated by your chosen captain and is used to deploy your crew onto the field. Some units can generate Cinder, which is used to power abilities. Alternatively, you can now harvest Cinder directly from the environment. You'll need to plan carefully to maximise your use of both resources to lead your crew to victory. So I'm assuming this, look here, this is the Discover Path to Victory. So the harvesting resource is going to be the Cinder Crates and Cinder Trucks, where you have to be in base contact with them at the start of your turn, and you generate an extra Cinder, and that's the additional way of using it, other than the crew that generate it as well. I actually am really glad that there are additional ways to generate it, because I don't like the feeling of having your resource tied solely to your crew, and that just is a nice extra touch. Discover new paths to victory. Defeating your opponent's captain is no longer the only way to win in Moonbreaker. We've got one of the really nice polished looking control points here. Each map now features different scenarios, including areas to control that provide victory points. You'll need to gather 10 victory points in total to win a match, though you must remain vigilant. Defeating the captain will grant 10 victory points to the opposing team. So this just means that there are now two ways to win victory points, or just killing the captain, and it also stops those situations where someone just runs away forever, or you don't ever make any progress. It stops stalemates a lot easier as well if there's a control point as well. New units and bigger rosters, another important one here. We've added a handful of new smugglers to the latest update with some awesome abilities that are sure to shake up the board and keep your rivals on their toes. They are Turncoat. So this is my favourite one so far. If you haven't played with it, Turncoat is amazing in the right situation, really fragile, but I can't wait to see more people using it. It's a 4 leadership cost, 6 health melee unit. They have the ability to immobilise a rival crew, and on your next turn, gain control of the unit if it's still in range. The important thing with that is it's not just gain control temporarily, that is yours for the rest of the game. You have a free unit if you can get hold of it. Really great versus melee units. If you can get the two of them isolated on the side of the map, you just use that to immobilise them, and they can't ever actually do anything about it unless they can get some other unit over there or some other way to interact, which is great. Also just noticed in this image there's a new banner shape that we don't know about yet, so hopefully we'll see that as well. Crash, a 7 leadership cost, 10 health melee unit with the ability Flux Capacitor, attack all touching units, then permanently gain +1 attack and lose 1 health. So this is ridiculously powerful because it permanently buffs your attack value, but also with things like pummel, the attacking AoE that it does around it does still pummel. So you attack everything twice if you do that, then gain 1 attack, and then the next thing you attack that twice as well because you've got pummel for all of it. So huge damage output there from Crash. Really, really powerful. I wouldn't be surprised to see the ability cost potentially go up, but Crash is such an expensive unit, I wouldn't be surprised if it stays the same either. It's going to be hard to get him on the battlefield at 7 leadership, but well worth it if you can do. Next we've got Flurry, so Flurry's like the combo option here. 6 leadership cost, 10 health melee unit. Their passive ability means that when Flurry takes damage, you deal 2 damage to all units, including friendly, in range. So it just spins around with its knives every time you get a hit. Every time it gets hit. It's fantastic, works on ally hits or enemy hits. Things like Shrapnel and Beatrice can trigger Flurry to burn things down a bit faster. And Flurry also has the same keyword that we're going to go into with Noxie. I believe this can be the case in the live version of Resilient, so they can only ever take a maximum of 2 damage at a time, which is really useful for triggering that ability over and over again. Noxie is a 5 cost, 6 health range unit with the passive ability Defend the Swarm. When damaged, it will create a Toxoid up to a maximum of 1, and whenever a Toxoid is destroyed, they gain +1 attack, so the Noxie gains +1 attack. And it is ranged, so you can trade for your damage for more Toxoids, which you then trade for units' health, and then when they die, you get more damage, and it really does work nicely in the cycle. I haven't found the right home for it yet, but a really fun unit to use. I'm sure there'll be some Toxoid lovers out there trying to make good use of that. And lastly, Hit and Run. A 4 leadership cost, 5 health unit. Whenever they damage their target, their passive ability refreshes its movement. So this is like a melee Maximus, really fast, really mobile, and you can I've seen people basically hold an objective, run out, hit something, run back onto the objective. It's really nice playstyle, incredibly fragile at 5 health. So we'll see how that goes, but very interesting. In addition, expanded roster sizes give even more control over your strategies and the ability to discover unique unit combinations. 10 units is great. I really like the change. 8 felt like you had to basically dedicate everything to your primary game plan all the time, because you're likely to use 1 or 2 units in a game, and if you just keep churning out those units that don't meet that plan, you're going to fall behind. But now, say you needed 8 units to go towards a certain game plan, you can have 2 sort of niche ones that come into play occasionally that might save you in some different situations. I love the change to 10, especially with the faster deployment early on, which I'm assuming is going to be in this. You get 5 leadership early on, and you just get to deploy a few units straight away. So really helpful on that. Ship assists have been adjusted to a cargo run only feature, provides players with more chances to finesse their game-by-game plans, as well as amp up the unpredictability of cargo run. Assists do not feel like you're missing anything out of the PvP. I really enjoyed them when there was the Cinder only resource system, but with the new leadership system, you can do more things with your units, and it doesn't feel like you're missing assists. I was really concerned about it. I genuinely was against removing assists so much because I really liked the amount of things you could do in a turn increased with having those assists there. With them gone, but the leadership system taking over, you don't miss them at all. So really positive change, and some people really didn't like assists and some people did. I think everyone is happy with the solution in general, so please give it a shot if you haven't already. The games feel great now. This should bring plenty of people back to Moonbreaker in my opinion. A little extra sparkle. So this is the first time I've seen any on a model here. A few bonus items to the season rewards track you can unlock as part of this update. So as far as I'm aware, it's probably just 5 more levels, because that's what it was on the experimental server. They include a slick alternate paint job for one of the newest units added to the game, Turncoat, as well as a decal pack, profile image, and banner to further customise your rosters. Maybe it's that banner shape we saw up there. But that's not all. You can get your hands on an opulent palette of glitter paints to really dazzle your opponents in battle. Now, I've not painted my Maximus yet, but there is nothing in this world I want to do more than cover Maximus in glitter paint. It feels like it suits him perfectly, so Maximus is going to get glittered all over. Community at our heart. In January, we launched our experimental branch, giving the community unprecedented access to day-to-day development. This provided the players the opportunity to actively provide feedback, which allowed us to tweak and refine this update while we're developing it. The change to introduce leadership came directly from the community and would not have happened without their input and help, so I want to put a big thumbs up to Grissy and Jester for these, they were the two that discussed a lot of this, and I don't know if anyone else had any input as well, but they were instrumental in putting together this sort of thing. So great, hats off to them for their involvement as well as, of course, to the dev team primarily. This includes the implementation of an always visible turn timer, one of the more popular community sessions, massively improved match intro and outro, which are great, I've covered those previously, a more thorough, engaging tutorial. Again, all of these I agree with, I've tried most of these out, I think they're great. The turn timer is really, really clean as well. And we won't stop there. Follow Moonbreaker development. We want you to join us on every step of our development journey to make Moonbreaker the best game possible. Join us in Discord and talk directly with the community and developers. I'm in there almost every day. If you want to come and join us in Discord, please do. Even just at me, let me know what you want to say. The dev team are always there as well. It's a great community. We'd be really happy to see you join. Sign up for the development newsletter and get all our major updates in your inbox. I think I'm signed up to that already. I better be. Check out all the latest news and sneak peeks on Twitter. Critical gameplay feedback and suggestions on Nolt. Please do check out the Nolt if you're interested in providing feature feedback, not bug fixes, but features. There's a huge amount of suggestions on there, and people vote as to what they think their favourites are. The devs will respond eventually saying, this is something we're going to consider, or no, we don't feel like doing that, or we're working on this now, or I've just got a notification from one today, in fact, saying that the objectives have now been completed because they were added to the game. And then, great amount of involvement there as well. See our task list and upcoming update milestones on Favreau. So this is almost like self-spoilers from the dev team. You can go on there and see what's coming, and the dev team have actually got information there available to the public, and you can see what's being worked on. And obviously, find us on your social media platform of choice. We'll see you in the reaches, Moonbreaker team. So I'm so excited for this. This looks great. I'm really, really keen for this to come to the main branch of the game. I'm looking forward to be able to go into matchmaking and find match-made games again, because there was a bit of an issue with that in the last few weeks. But this is going to bring everything back because everyone's just been holding on for this update. I'm going to be sticking Turncoat in almost every list I can. I'm going to be sticking Hit and Run in as if I'm ever just I need one more unit, it's probably going to be Hit and Run, and then these are all going to be stuff I try and build around at some point. So really, really excited for all of this. Hopefully you guys are too. If you like this and you want to see more Moonbreaker content, please do subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what you're most excited by, whether it be glitter paints, new units, new resource, the lot. I really want to hear what you're most keen to try out. And then like the video, and if you really want to support the channel, the Patreon's in the links down below. It's the best way to support this channel and keep it all going with the daily Moonbreaker content. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you all in the reaches, but most importantly, have a good day.